I may be live, but am I feeling live in the inside? No. Uh, post the StreamYard link. Anybody can join if they want. And let's play some of that cringy lo-fi bullshit. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, let's see. What do we want to talk about today? Let's pontificate together, y'all. Got controversial subjects are worth talking about. Got accelerationism. Going fast, BB. Gotta go fast. So we got the Sonic Gang. Got option one, we talk about Sanic. Ethics of Sanic. Talk about infanticide versus abortion. Difference? Question mark? Is there a difference between infanticide and abortion? We'll talk about that maybe. Maybe. We got accelerationism we might talk about, or we might talk about infanticide and abortion. That's one of the two things. What else when we talk about today? Big think. Let's pontificate together. Accelerationism, infanticide and abortion. Shoot me a topic idea, YouTube person who's watching me. I just dropped my pen. Shoot me an idea. What do you want to talk about today? If you want to hear me, this lovely man right here, talk about something of a topic today, we're just thinking about topic ideas to talk about in the live stream. I'm thinking accelerationism or infanticide versus abortion. Fuck you. Dare you leave me? I'll fucking lick your clit, bitch. Just kidding. Love you. That's just why I'm getting you off English Live, because I love you. So let's think about another topic. What do you guys think? Do you think World War II was bad? No, I'm kidding. No. We talk about World War II. Just kidding, I don't fucking know. We're talking about accelerationism, infanticide, or something else. It's one of three topics. Which is a way to create polls on StreamYard. Pretty fucking awesome. Polls that would like interact with like YouTube and shit. That'd be dope. Too bad. I don't know, man. It's a pretty nice day out today, so it doesn't really matter to me either way. Whatever you prefer / is easiest, I guess. Whatever you prefer / is easiest, I guess. It's weird how the term "pull it off" refers to doing something successfully, but it also can refer to like removing something from another thing. It's odd. What is language, man? What is it, English, man? Anyways, we're not going to talk about semantics. We're going to talk about those 1 or 2, maybe 3 topics. So let's see what the third topic would be. I want to have at least 3 topics worthy of topics today. You know, like I want to talk about at least 1 or 2, maybe even all 3 of them. Ethics of we talk about ethics of a bunch of shit on this channel. We talk about rape, we talk about a bunch of shit. I don't fucking know. Who knows, man? We've talked about ethics of so much things on this channel, but I don't know what this topic should be. So far, we got accelerationism, which is the idea that we should accelerate pollution and just human consumption of products. And we got infanticide. That sounds like a good plan. That sounds like a good plan. That works. What's the IPA stand for? And LGBTQ IPA. Why is there so many letters? There's too many letters. See you then. Okay. Cool. Hanging out with someone later. Blah, blah. What's utility about? That could be a good conversation one. Is that what your suggestion is for the third thing? What's utility about? I don't know, I feel like I can answer that pretty fast though. Like, what's utility about? Utility is just about maximizing pleasure under classical utilitarianism, or the prevention of maximum amounts of pain. And basically, if like you could have like a hypothetical scale of like prevention, even though that prevention never actually occurs because it's like a lack of experience. But if you could have like a scale of like a little box of all the prevented suffering, you know, that would be what the utility is. It'd be like, oh, the more prevented suffering, the more good. The more suffering that occurs, the worse. But I don't feel like that's worth talking about, man. It's not really controversial. It's kind of just utilitarianism. Utilitarianism's been going around for a while, and people can probably just get that information from like a professor or from YouTube or something. Not that they couldn't get this information probably from there too, but they can't get a unique psychopathic viewpoint of, you know. Let's see. I guess we'll just work with the 2 right now. We'll work with the 2. Maybe we'll work with 3. Yeah, what is... Cool, we'll do this for the 3rd topic. What is God to you? Because remember today I was out there doing some activism and a random person was like, find God, and I was like, God's dead, and then they just kept driving. But let's see, let's talk about either accelerationism, infanticide, or what is God to you? What do you want to talk about, Oyster? I'll let you're the only person here at the moment, so we'll start the conversation by letting you decide. Accelerationism is the idea that we should... God is my animal instincts and animalistic desires. Okay, well, interesting. That's cool. We'll start with that then. Instincts and animalistic desires. So you think God is like evolutionary forces then? Like God is whatever drives you to do what you do, which is kind of like whatever puppets you, I guess, which is like evolution. So to you, evolution is God, basically? Or... Because to me it seems like that's not like anything that's of intelligence. Do you think it's like worth describing such a thing as God? I mean, it doesn't seem to be worthy of worship, and it doesn't really seem to have much of a creative power to it. It more just forms things randomly. Oh, might be the closest thing to a god in the natural world. God doesn't exist, yo. Fair enough, fair enough. No, I like that answer. Like, I genuinely like that answer. Just being like, nah, fuck this question, bro. God doesn't exist. Based. But, if God did exist, what would God be like to you? Like, what would be a being worthy of worship? Or, if a God existed, how do you think it would take place? Because me, I believe that, like, if a God existed, it killed itself. So, I'm curious if you believe, like, in an idea of a god, like if there was an idea, like if you had like a conceptual idea of God in your mind, like what is that concept to you? Like how do you perceive the idea of a god, of something that's like worthy of being the title of God? So far, God doesn't exist. We have this, otherwise, it's pretty based, yo, because God probably doesn't exist. So, I mean, based and godless pill, very much Nietzsche's. If God existed, he would be an old, senile man with lots of experience. That's what I thought when I was little. Oh, fair enough. Like an old geezer who's just like, the universe came from a long time ago. I molded it from the smegma in my belly button. I just give it a little flick, and there you go. It just started to bubble, and bippity bop, and there you go. Universe 1, and there you are. The knowledge. Gravity is literally just the sweat of my brow, soaking to the center, pulling things with it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I got you, man. No, I think that's a fairly accurate assessment of what people in general believe what God to be. Just an old dude with a white beard. You lived in the clouds and believed that, like, he created all things for whatever reason. It's a pretty normal assessment. Marco! Hey! Come over here, boy. Meow. Hi. Oh, big boy. Yes, you are. Oh. Marco is pretty close to being a god. Just kidding now. Maybe Marco is a god. You never know. Just kidding. Marco, you're adorable. Yes, you are. Anyways, yeah, I mean, to me, God is like a singularity. It's like if all things, all possibilities, every single thing that could happen in this universe and any other universe from the very beginning of time, infinite possibilities, like infinite times infinite to the possibilities squared of singularity, just all things in one point. Just, and that is what I call Marquiz's own god. Yeah, basically. But I basically consider a singularity of all possible things, like before they could even occur. Like all possible things, all universes compiled all into one single point, like a singularity of all things. And that's what I call God, like infinite potentiality. All things contained into single space. And that is what I call God. And I believe that that thing basically took on a deterministic form by suicide and, became the universe. But that's pretty close to white dude. I mean, honestly, like, white dude in the clouds, just big floating there, being like, the same thing as singularity, in my opinion. Not much of a difference. Frankly, it's just as insane and just as senile. The fact that it chose to just create us, just big old sad and some destruction. I mean, not that it even chose. It might have just been like a product of its own destruction, but either way, goddamn, it do suck being here. We'll re-loop around to this because who killed God, in your opinion? I think God killed itself, basically. I think God realized there was nothing for it to do because it was perfect, because it contained all possibilities within itself. It realized, oh shit, there's nothing for me to do because everything's already been done by me inside of myself. I am all things. And then basically it was like, shit, I can only do one thing, exist in my infinite possibility, which is, before things even occur, just infinite like possibility, exist as a possibility, or destroy myself and become nothing, the one thing that I've never experienced, which is absence of my own self. And I think basically God was forced into the predicament of being like, well, do I live or do I die? Basically the predicament we're all in. And it being it had nothing to literally live for because all things already existed inside of itself. It just chose death. And I believe God essentially chose to destroy itself by taking on a deterministic form, which is our universe actually collapsing from entropy. So that's basically what I believe. I believe God basically took on the form of like our universe to kill itself, and we can see its active death through the annihilation of entropy, basically, and the will to death, which is in almost all beings, to tear each other apart and to be suicidal, to consume or to destroy themselves. So that's what I believe. Fleet Mainlander. The will to death. Kamikaze. Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically just kamikazed himself. Just seppuku. Honorable suicide. The real question is, does God reappear though? Can God really kill itself, or can God only temporarily kill itself and then come back again in a new form, recoagulating itself? That's the real question. But I suppose that we'll never know. But I really hope it doesn't, because otherwise it'll just be forced to kill itself again in a perpetual cycle of life and death, which is horrifying. Imagine like an infinite amount of suffering, basically destroying itself and splattering apart to create the universe, and then reforging itself into the infinite being of infinite suffering and infinite pain, and then just committing suicide again on a cosmic scale, just over and over and over. Oh, seppuku gets assisted by a beheader because it's painful. Fair enough. And I guess, yeah, it's more of a kamikaze. But yeah, essentially, yeah, man, like straight up, I don't know how the universe works when it comes to God, but if there is a God, then I believe it's basically in a form of suicide. It's basically in one suicide or a perpetual form of suicide where it just constantly annihilates itself over and over again, which is horrifying, but not quite as, I mean, it's more horrifying than even this reality, but it's like, at least we can't experience it, so, yay. But in the way we are experiencing it, because God would just be the universe, so therefore all things would be experiencing and then coagulating together, and then, yeah, it's just a horror show. Pain. All I know is... Okay, let's move on to a more happy subject until more people show up, and then we'll come back to this question. So, we got one person we've answered that question with. What's your opinion on infanticide, Oyster? The idea of killing babies. Do you think it's wrong to kill babies? Do you think it's right to kill babies? In of itself, like if there's a you in a pocket dimension with a child, and that's it, like just you, just child, would you kill that child or believe it's your moral obligation to kill it? By the blood of the willing, by three they come, by three way opens, by the blood of the willing. I understand, no I don't. But I imagine that's like a poem of some sort. But yeah, we'll ask your opinion on infanticide real quickly, and then I will raise him. Okay, fair enough. So you're against infanticide. What's your opinion on abortion, then? I'm gonna ask your opinion on abortion, yeah. And then we'll start to get into topic number 2, which is the difference between infanticide and abortion. Is there any difference between infanticide and abortion? Because personally, I'm in favor of abortion and infanticide. I don't really think there's much of a difference because they don't have any identity, and either way, death is good for the one who dies. So even if there was an identity, I think it's good. Given the fact that most people aren't going to be ethical people, I think say just, it's no risk, really. So my opinion is infanticide, cash money, abortion, cash money also. But people also seem to think that there's maybe a difference between them, that like if you can sustain the fetus by itself, then it's different, if it can live by itself, it's different. That's one of the arguments for why abortion should be wrong, is if it can sustain itself, then it should be artificially allowed to be inside of a womb, an artificial womb, instead of aborted. Because otherwise it's like murder, because it's basically able to be self-sustaining. No longer reliant on a mother, which I think is silly billy, but for me, yeah, it's just silly billy. It doesn't matter. All it matters is if it has any sort of semblance of illusion of self, aka does it have desires, and then can those desires be upset? If they can be upset, then basically you're creating some level of wrong by harming it, slash upsetting its desires. But key thing, by allowing it to live, you're basically gonna upset far more future desires, so you're better off just eliminating. I wish I was one of the sperm caught in the condom. Same, my dude. Same. I wish I was too. But now that I'm here, I'm doing my best that I can to try to eliminate and prevent as much suffering as possible. But will that ever turn out the way I wish it would? Just me preventing a maximum amount of suffering and just dying. Like, where's my red button, baby? Where's my red button? I can't just push a red button and just boop, end all life and just get out of here. I mean, frankly, I wish that was what would be happening. Just a little button in front of me, and all I need to do is push it and just be like, ah, yes, I came into existence for this. But nope, I'm here to suffer and die and probably not really convince many people of anything. How do you eliminate or lessen the pain of others? Well, by just being a source of therapy for others is the best way to lessen the pain. Eliminating the pain, I guess sometimes I'll kill wild animals. My cat catches them or something, or if they're just sitting around, ants and bugs, I'll like squish them. If they're in my line of sight, I'll be like, goodbye, little insect, and I'll kill it. So I eliminate some pain for some organisms, and I lessen pain by being a source of therapy for human animals and other things, I guess. That, like my cat, I'll pet it and be like, oh, you're a good boy. So, like, I help in those type of ways, which anybody can help in. But when it comes down to it, I also do like activism, trying to prevent pain by like trying to convince people not to bring people into existence, and do this live streaming to try to convince people not to bring people into existence, and bring exposure to ephilism and antinatalism, by getting people to try to watch my channel and get exposed to these ideas. So I mean, that's basically how I try to eliminate and lessen pain. It's just through activism and trying to be a decent moral agent by eliminating things from existence. Yeah, he doesn't understand that I call him a good boy, but he understands the tonation of my voice. That's like an affectionate tonation, and then I'm like petting him and stuff, and he's just like, "Oh yes, I am a good boy." No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't understand that. He doesn't really say that, but like he just like understands that I'm like showing him affection, and he's like, "I am having social relief because I am an evolutionary programmed creature to be a social species, I guess." Because cats are somewhat social with each other and into other companions. So basically, they need some type of socialization. So I just deliver that. Sure, it would be better if I just delivered death, but at the same time, I'm not willing to do that because of the law. Mainly the law, but also because I like Marco is in a selfish way of being like, you are my stress relief companion animal. Like, what do they want to call them? Therapy dogs, therapy cats. But, it would be better if I eliminated him from existence, just like I did the ants and stuff and moths. But, still, I'm not going to do that because it's illegal. Hello, Marco. We're talking about you. Come on inside. Not fuck you. He just walks. He just comes up to me, meows. I open the door, and then he just walks up to his food bowl, and I'm like, okay. You haven't seen the cat fights? No. I've seen cat fights. Cats fight each other all the time. Marco will fight other cats when he's outside sometimes, but it's worth it. Cats are social to their moms and partner. Yeah, it's basically yeah. I mean, cats will fight each other and they get really territorial, but sometimes they're social. Have you seen Cat Island? There's this one island where tourists go and there's cats literally everywhere, everywhere, and they're all super duper friendly with each other and to people and stuff. But I'm sure they fight also because they get territorial and stuff. But for the most part, cats can be social, and it really depends on their social net, I guess. They have little crews, little gangs. They're like people, I guess, kind of. They have their in groups and their out groups. But still either way they need an in-group, so I'm just providing the in-group for Markovius, that good boy. Even though as Primordialist, it would be better if I just eliminated him from needing a social group at all. BRB, yeah. I'm back. Back in black. Back in Black is a really dumb song, unless you're goth, and then it's just a lifestyle. So, you would take care of a child, but what's your opinion on abortion, Spirit Oyster, if you have an opinion on abortion? Because you said you would take care of a child if it were born, but would you get an abortion potentially at some point, or you against abortion at all points for all reasons? at right, Marco. Some people are against abortion, some people are for abortion. Why suffer an abortion when you can avoid the pregnancy? Well, yeah, I mean, 100% agree with that. I mean, I'm an antinatalist, so I think we should just avoid pregnancy altogether, but just not procreating. Just use condoms, use birth control. But if it gets to the point where you are, or not you, but like your partner, someone is pregnant, do you think that they should get an abortion or that it's permissible to get an abortion? Yeah, they should get an abortion for being idiots. Fuck yeah, okay. So basically, you think they should get an abortion, but you're against infanticide. Can I ask, do you think there's like a limit to when they should be able to get an abortion? Like, is it like only 20 weeks, or do you think they should be able to get an abortion all the way up till birth, basically? And if it's all the way up till birth, why do you think they should be able to get an abortion up till birth, but not after the baby's born? If it's just a 20 weeks thing slash till when they can feel pain, then that's understandable. But yeah, but I also have to ask a different question after that. But they should get an abortion in the early stage of pregnancy. Okay. What if they don't catch the pregnancy somehow until the later stages? Just as like a hypothetical example, like should they keep the baby then at that point, or should they still get an abortion? Because I believe that personally, you'd be preventing a greater amount of pain by getting an abortion, even in the later stages, even if it causes some pain to the fetus. Because no matter what, eventually it's going to die, and probably in a horrible way. So to me, it makes sense to kill the fetus no matter what term of this pregnancy it's in. But if they were to catch it in the final trimester or final you know they should keep the baby. Okay, interesting, interesting. What makes you think that they should keep the baby? Out of curiosity. You'd probably agree with a Gnostic antinatalist then, perpetual pleasurist. He seems to be very much aligned with a lot of the beliefs that you have. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is infanticide, but is there anything inherently wrong with infanticide? Because, I mean, it is killing a baby, but, I mean, we kill bacteria, and bacteria are fully formed. I mean, we kill animals sometimes, animals are fully formed, plants are fully formed. So to me, it seems like, I mean, we're fine with eating baby carrots and stuff like that, but, like, what's the difference? What makes it so there's a value in preventing a baby from being killed? I guess, like, where does the value in that lie? And if it is lying in, like, something, like, does it not apply to other things potentially? Killing a sentient being is wrong. I mean, do you think infinite is sentient right away? I mean, I guess it's sentient because it feels pain, but yeah, I mean, I suppose you're wrong. You're right, but like, why would killing something that feels pain be wrong? Wouldn't it be just prevention of future pain? Because it's not like the nervous system can really feel much pleasure at that point of 20 weeks or like when they're just born. I mean, sure, maybe a little bit, but like not really that much. So I'd have to ask, like, do you think it's just inherently wrong, or do you think there's a reason for it being wrong? It was granted access to life, it should live it. Well, it was given access to life via just brought into existence, yes, but I mean, it's kind of like it's hard to say it was granted access to life. I mean, that would be like saying that was like approved of. I don't know. Maybe you could say it was granted by the parents, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Hmm. I don't know. That seems weird to me. Do you think like something? So it would be wrong, is what you're saying, to take it back. Then okay. So if you grant access to something, is it always wrong to take back what you give access to? Because I know in certain cases, like I'm just trying to think of like hypothetical examples that might be similar enough to this, but I'm not sure if this would count or if it'd be like too far off topic. But would like consenting to sex and then midway through being like I want to stop be like because to me that seems like you're granting access to something and then revoking access to something. But this seems like, you're granting access to be using the anything that can be buried is wrong to kill. That seems weird. I mean, you can bury bacteria if you really want to. I mean, you can't really, but you can. Like anything that can be buried. I mean, so like insects. Do you think are? I mean, you can kill and bury insects. Do you think it's wrong to kill insects? We bury stuff in order to not smell it when it rots. Well, that just sounds like you're talking about like it's wrong to have unesthetic things, basically. Like that'd be like saying it's wrong to shit in public because the shit stinks or something like that, or like it's wrong to make bad art because the art's unappealing to the eye. I don't know. Like it seems weird to say like it's like we bury stuff in order to not smell it when it rots. Like it seems weird to say like Like it's wrong to. I mean, I think I know what you're saying. Like when you kill something, anything that's sentient, meaning like something that you bury when you kill it because it rots. But I mean, I'm not entirely sure if I get what you mean per se. I think I do, but I don't at the same time. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not very smart. Plus, I'm drunk. Like this is filled up to here with alcohol. Like this is filled up to here with alcohol, my dude. I'm kind of I'm a little baked and not baked. I'm fucking yeah. I'm feeling the healing beat. Oh, he's like I didn't want to sit in your lap. If I would have, I would have done so. The only person who deserves to die is the person who wished she was dead. Killing someone who doesn't wish to die is murder. Okay. Hmm. What do you mean by someone? I suppose because like, do you mean insects as well, or do you mean animals? Can animals count as a someone, or can insects count as a someone, or is it just people? Because also someone implies like an identity of sorts. And do you think that babies can have an identity, or fetuses can have an identity? Like, do you think a fetus can be a someone, a human person? Okay, okay, interesting. I mean, do you think? Yeah, do you think that fetuses are a someone? Like, to me, I'm sure like a someone implies some type of identity, some type of will, something more than just like a feeling behind it. What if the future? I mean, that's very unlikely that a baby will be a cure of all diseases. If anything, it's more likely to be a person who exploits people or so on, or exploits animals and so on, and just is overall a terrible person. Like 99.99999999999. There's 100 billion people on the planet, so there's only one person that can ever cure all diseases. So what if he contributes to humanity in a good way? There's so few people that contribute to humanity in a good way. The only way to contribute to humanity in a good way, my opinion, is to prevent suffering. And there's most people don't like. There's only 100 billion people that can cure all diseases, and there's only like 1% of people who are like good people on the planet. Like Peter Singer has a really excellent article called I forgot what it's called, but it basically is about like how people are evil essentially. And I believe that most people are evil. Most people are really, really, really bad. So I think, yeah, when it comes down to it, most people aren't going to do anything good for the world. They're just going to be problems, just like most animals as well. Like, if we could somehow know that they're gonna be a good person, like, if we could, like, if we discovered some of a gene that, like, was like, "Oh, this is what makes good people be good people," like, this gene called AY55286. And if you have AY25886 or whatever, you're just gonna be a naturally virtuous person who values suffering and wants to be vegan, so on and so forth. Then I'd say, if you could like do in vitro fertilization and like find out that that baby would have that, then it would be wrong to abort that fetus because you could guarantee that that baby would essentially prevent more suffering into the future. So bad people get what they deserve. Well, I don't really believe that. I don't really believe that bad people get what they deserve because I don't really believe that there's bad. I mean, there's bad actions and there's like people who are prone to bad actions. But when it comes to like saying there's bad people, that's like a little iffy for me. Like there's people that almost always do bad actions and almost never do good actions, and you could call them like a bad person from like typical labels, and I'd agree. But when it comes to like the lack of free will, because I don't believe in free will, I'd have to say that there's no one that's really good or bad. Like I'm not a good person and I'm not a bad person. I'm just a person who does good things and some bad things. And then there's people who aren't bad people, but they do a lot of bad things and very little good things. So it really depends on like how you look at it, I guess. But for me, I don't think anybody deserves anything because it's not like it was their fault for being the way that they are. But that's why there's laws protecting us. Oh, fair enough. I mean, that's why there is laws protecting us. True, but that's why there's laws protecting us. I mean, yeah, the laws protect us, but only a little bit. They don't really protect us. Like, someone could still break into my house and shoot me if I got it if they really want to, and that wouldn't really protect us. It just kind of like encourages and dissuade it. It encourages good behavior and dissuades bad behavior, but it doesn't really protect us per se. It only kind of protects us. There's no real guarantee. That's why I think there has to be like some type of morality that's like established that like determines what is good and bad because laws don't really protect shit for shit. Like if I really wanted to, I could go out in the countryside, scope out the place for a little bit, find some house without a ring doorbell, and just bust down the door in the middle of the night and just bang bang lit up the whole house, and then get out of there in 2 minutes, and I'd never get caught. They would have no proof that it was me, no DNA. Even if they have DNA, it's not like it's gonna be like printed to me. So if you are what you eat, you are a vegetable. Yeah, I mean I am a vegetable baby. Basically, I'm pretty much drunk right now, so it's not like I'm really thinking a whole lot of anything useful. So I'm practically a vegetable. Then I'm an animal. Fair enough. Hey man, I'm cool with being a vegetable because vegetables suffer less and animals suffer quite a bit. Animals impose, vegetables do not. But I don't believe we are we eat. I just believe that means more like we are healthy or not healthy. But how do I know vegetables don't suffer? Well, vegetables don't have a nervous system, so they don't have a brain. They can't desire anything, and so therefore, desire is the root of all suffering, as Eastern religions and Buddhism says. Plus, like nervous systems, being able to feel like physical pain or mental pain equals desire. And given the fact that they don't have a nervous system, they can't feel actual pain, and they don't have a brain, so they can't desire anything, and they can't have their desires upset. So I'd say it's pretty good reasoning behind why vegetables can't feel pain. They can send signals just as like a robot can, like a button can sense when pressure is put on it. A robot can sense when there's like your computer can sense where you're touching it and like input signals and output signals depending on where you touch and how you touch it and if you swipe or whatever. but it doesn't really mean your computer or your phone is really sensing or aware of anything. It's just outputting signals based on different inputs. And billions of years of evolution basically have done the exact same thing as we have in terms of programming. We just reprogram computers, evolution programmed uh, plants, animals, and people. So that's why I don't think animals. Sorry, that's why I don't think vegetables suffer, but animals and humans can. Well, human animals, I should say. Seems a little disingenuous to separate ourselves. Yo, how's it going, Seb? I'll post the link again if you want to rejoin. It's been a while since I've posted it. No, I 100% agree, Spirit Oyster. Dumb people shouldn't have babies, but I don't think anybody should have babies in general, really. Dumb people, especially, because they're just gonna raise stupid people into the world, which will exploit people and animals and so on, and just be little consumers and not producers. But when it comes down to it, I mean, you're 100% right. Dumb people shouldn't have babies, but I don't think anybody should. No one should.
Hey,
Howdy, howdy.
what's up?
Not too much. Just drinking a little bit and aka getting drunk and just live streaming a little bit. Today's topics are accelerationism, infanticide versus abortion. Is there a difference? And what does God mean to you? Like, if there is a God, what would it be? Like, what would it be like in terms of descriptions? That's kind of what we're talking about today.
I
Um,
think God is a way to get really drugged up, and it's to avoid death and to get drugged up. Nobody would care for a heaven if it it was the anhedonic heaven, no pleasure forever. The I think they assume that there is going to be some afterlife where they are drugged.
hmm, that's a fair assessment. Yeah. I just said basically the Fleet Mainlander idea of God, but yeah, it's basically a good explanation as well. Just saying like there probably is no God. It's just people want to feel orgasmic at all times, and so they assume that there has to be a state of possibility of that. So therefore, there must be a God.
Yeah, yeah, we can talk about the different topics, but first I thought about the scarcity of pleasure.
Scarcity
Even
of
if,
pleasure.
yeah, even if there isn't a whole lot of, even if one isn't anhedonic, one can't just. There seems to be a very limited amount of pleasure one can feel, and that is in the natalist's mind what is supposed to make up for the bad stuff, but there's this extreme scarcity of pleasure.
No, I think I agree. Yeah, in general, we have to fight against things in order to feel pleasure. Like we're not constantly feeling good. Like right now, I'm just feeling like mediocre. I'm just feeling okay. Like I'm buzzed, I'm drunk a little bit, so I'm feeling like better than if I was sober. But even then, like even when I'm like intoxicated, my body has this little vibrationy feeling to it. Like even then, I still feel like dull. Like there's nothing really going on of value. So yeah, I mean like yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you. Like, it's just a constant fight to feel pleasure, and it's a constant fight to not feel pain. So we're constantly in a losing battle, basically.
There, let's see the topics: the infanticide versus abortion. So a lot of people they have varying ideas on where when life begins. I guess, and if life begins, and if at some people believe life begins at a very early stage, such as conception, and some people believe life begins when consciousness arises, and I lean towards that idea. Life begins when consciousness arises, like if there is some cells, but they can't really experience anything at all, like anything. Uh, that that bunch of cells, it's like being dead, or at least not being born. That's
Hmm.
how I see it.
No, I pretty much agree. Yeah. Do you think there's? Do you think after 20 weeks you should potentially not get an abortion, or do you think it's like just a bad thing, but it's better to still get the abortion at 20 weeks or later?
20 weeks.
Yeah, that's when like the nervous system is developed and they can start to feel pain.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it like after like after 20 weeks. I don't think one should, but even if one thought that, it would still be preferable to lie about it, like as a promotalist, I think.
So you think that you probably wouldn't get an abortion, but it'd probably still be preferable?
No, actually, it would be preferable, but
Okay.
I don't think it's a good idea going around and saying that one should really extreme controversial views if one is advocating for AM. That's what
No, that
I
makes
think. So
sense.
I try to cover it up, I guess.
No, that makes sense. I agree.
But
Yep.
now I have admitted it, I guess. But no one is watching.
Yeah, the only person watching is probably like Spirit Oyster, and he doesn't care. But he's on Twitch. I don't even know if Spirit Oyster's still watching. Spirit Oyster, are you still watching? Because I can't recall a time before that. Oh, I didn't become conscious until I learned to speak because I can't recall before that time. Yeah, that's pretty much what we mean though. Is like by infanticide is Spirit Oyster is basically like we think that like before you have like memories, before you have like desires, before you have like consciousness of some sort where you're like actually, oh, you're still here, awesome. But yeah, basically we think that like before you can really have an idea of what's going on around you and like recognize yourself as being yourself distinguished from other things, that there really is no reason to consider you any different from bacteria, basically, you know. And it's just kind of like like bacteria can probably feel discomfort, ants can probably feel discomfort and pain. I'm sure we have like a minor nervous system, but we're probably preventing a far greater amount of pain by eliminating a fetus than to allow it to basically come into existence and develop to the point of being an adult where it can feel conscious existential dread and stuff like that. So because existential dread's not fun, you know, it's not. I'd rather be aborted or infanticized. But now that I'm here, I'm doing good things, I guess. But, you know, that's a very unlikely case scenario for a baby to be doing good things ever, unfortunately. How's your music going, Seb, by the way?
It's going fine. I had some meeting today with someone. this bass player that he commented on a Reddit post, and then with that chat in voice chat on Discord about the music. It was a lengthy chat, and wanted to make he wanted to like produce the songs and come up with riff ideas.
Oh, awesome. How difficult is it for you to come up with like songs? Is it like you just they just kind of hop into your head, or do you like have to like slowly compose something?
It's like really easy to come up with a song. The problem is that I just don't want to make any song. I want to make something that I enjoy. That is the difficult part.
Hmm.
So first I come up with riffs, and it just happens every once in a while. And once I have enough riffs, I make a song and add some MIDI keyboard. Once I have all the riffs, it takes a few hours, not that long.
That's awesome. Do you compose your riffs, or do you just like the riffs just kind of like pop into your brain?
They pop into my brain. So, like sometimes I get lucky and there's this riff that's there. Sometimes I think more thoroughly about it, and sometimes I make a riff, I extend upon the riff, etc. Sometimes there have been instances where I've had a melody in my mind and then I play it on guitar.
Hmm. That's pretty cool, actually. I'm glad
Yeah,
that it
for
just
the
comes easy.
vocals, usually it's the first. It's easy. Is the easiest. I just sing whatever I feel like singing, and the thing I thought would be the most difficult, doing MIDI compositions. That's really easy. I don't feel like I just, yeah. I thought it would be way harder. And if I knew it would be that easy, I would have done it all this. I would have done it for a while.
Hmm.
Um, there sometimes I have also started with like le- recently I've been starting doing MIDI compositions first and then playing guitar over it. That's what I've done for the most part when it comes to Oscar stuff. That Oscar
Okay.
does something, then I play over it. But lately I've been doing backing tracks with MIDI and then playing guitars. But when it comes to the riffs, like I can make a riff in a couple of seconds, but it's rare that it sparks such an interest that I want to make a whole song out of it. So it does have to be. It can take some weeks before I come up with a riff I think is decent enough.
Hmm. Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, I'm not very musically inclined, so I don't really know like how like what a good riff sounds like or a bad riff sounds like. I mean, I just know like when I hear good music, I like that song. But what do you is there a way to like verbally describe like what a good riff sounds like and what a bad riff or like one that's just mediocre sounds like not worth composing?
To me, a mediocre riff and a bad riff is kind of the same in a way. Put it in the trash
Hmm.
and forget about it. Like a like I guess there could be a mediocre riff that is like one can listen to, but one doesn't feel suffering from it. I guess a bad riff would be something one ex- can experience annoyance from. But the answer about a good riff is It's simple. It's if I get pleasure from it, then it's a good riff.
Okay. How do you know when you get pleasure from it? Was it like a tingle on your arm, or is it more like just like you know?
It's there's not body tingles.
Okay,
That's harder to explain. I can't explain it. Like how
interesting.
does one explain the sensation of music?
Yeah, that'd be a good. That'd be a topic on its own. Yeah, we should have. That'd be an interesting topic actually. Music and since music and utility. Future topic. I'm gonna write that down.
There are certain methods I like to use. Like I down tune my guitar to C standard or lower. For slower stuff, it sounds better down tuned. For faster stuff, it I prefer to use E flat, a step down from E standard. On I also like to use distortion on the bass. It, like if the bass is distorted to it, adds an extra heaviness. Especially if the bass is synced with the guitar, like it plays the root notes of what the guitar does, or the individual note.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, when I so 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 do you know where to hit on the strings? Fortunately, to make I know where to hit on the strings. So a certain note can be created.
Unfortunately, no. I only really know how to play saxophone. Really, the alto sax.
Though I'm not familiar with the different types of saxophones.
It's okay. They're basically all kind of look the same, but they're just like slightly different buttons and like sounds. They're basically all the same.
Let's see. But when I make music, it's not like I try to get in a certain mood. I don't try to make something that sounds brutal or something. I think I prefer it like bluesy and groovy.
Prefer blues.
That it sounds bluesy, that it follows a lot in the pentatonic scale,
Ah, okay.
but not entirely. It would be
Hmm. Yo, Spirit Oyster, do you know much about music, or I'm just talking to the person in the comment section? Wish my friend Nathan would watch this. He's into music quite a bit, so he would actually have quite a bit of knowledge on music.
there's different types of riffs too, like short riffs. I call them, that has a short length to it in notes, and it doesn't last that long. And there's longer riffs too. Uh, there's when I made a riff, I like to uh, do some variations too, so I don't play the same thing. But sometimes I think it works to play the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, muscle memory is really important for playing music.
But yeah, But I don't like music as much as I would like to like music. It's not like I listen to music. Before, when I listened to music, I did get this great enjoyment from it, but not that much anymore. Unfortunately, but I do like to listen to it sometimes, occasionally. But
No, I'm
it's
basically the
fun to
same boat.
create music.
No, I'm basically in the same boat. I mean, I like music, but I kind of don't listen to it like very much. Like I know people that listen to it like multiple hours a day. So, well, I knew people that listen to it multiple hours a day, and people that listen to it all the time in the guitar, like in the car, not the guitar. Talk about guitar, so brains just all over the place. But yeah, I mean, I only really listen to music when I'm in the car or if I'm live streaming, then I'll sometimes sing along and do little sing along sessions and stuff, but that's mainly just for entertainment purposes. I don't really listen to music very much anymore. Well, I never really listen to music much. I mean, why do you think that your passion for music has kind of died off? Do you think it's more of like just something to do with like efilism and antinatalism, or is it more just
No,
like,
no, it's not like that.
hmm,
It has more to maybe I got too used to it. It could be that, the but I think it could return.
hmm,
It could return. There are certain times where fe- there has been certain times where I felt very good. Um, like very good, like naturally, just a natural high for
hmm,
months. And I don't think I could call it mania since it's not like I was super motivated either. It was a very calm high.
hmm. Spiritualist says sometimes you just grow old and out of music. Like sometimes eventually you just kind of stop listening to music. Is that true? Fair enough. My mom says that she doesn't ever just like sit and listen to music. I'm the same way, I guess.
I would I would have liked to actually get some kind of enjoyment from an extreme enjoyment
Same.
from music again. So if I listen,
Mm,
that would have been great. That's one of my dreams to get as much enjoyment from music as I used to have. So when I do listen to it, it makes more sense to me, and I can appreciate more what I created. It's kind of like it's almost like a not a blind painter, but a painter with extremely bad eyesight who can't appreciate his own works that much.
hmm. Yeah, I kind of wish I appreciated music like I did a little bit like a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, I listened to music a little bit more often. But
It could have something to do with how hedonic one is. The better one feels, the better one tends to like music too.
yeah, that's probably technically it. Yeah, so just like when you're in a good mood, you listen to music. I usually typically listen to music when I'm in like a really good mood or really bad mood. It's kind of like in the extremes. I don't really listen to music much unless I'm like in like a good mood or a bad mood. If I'm just kind of like vibing, like and like I'm just kind of satisfied with what I am, then it's just kind of like, no reason to listen to music. I'm just kind of doing me.
I was suspicion that I might I might start to become more hedonic in the future after some months.
Is just getting towards winter, or
No, it has nothing to do with that.
hmm,
But it's kind of like a private reason I would tell you, but we're on a a stream, and I don't want to give like I don't like when sadists can derive pleasure s- from bad
From misfortune.
stuff,
Yeah.
misfortunes in my life.
No, that makes
That's
sense.
something I
Yeah.
dislike.
Yeah, you can tell me in a personal comment or message if you want, but I'd just keep it to yourself, honestly. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm
yeah, I
I'm
thought
also a
about
sadist, so
yeah, but I don't get a feeling you would use it against me somehow.
that's true. I wouldn't do that. You're a good guy. So I think a lot of times people don't really have much to use against themselves online. I mean, I'm fairly open about my stuff, and I don't really have much that can be used against me. I mean, I guess it depends on like your mindset, but like sometimes people will comment like, "Oh, your opinion's invalid because you're a crazy person" and stuff like that. But that doesn't bug me because I'm kind of like, well, your opinion's invalid because you're neurotypical. Neurotypicals are just normies. So I mean, like so I guess like it really depends on your mindset and like how to let things affect you. I guess it's kind of like Buddhism says, but at the same time, yeah, I completely understand that. There's no reason to give ammunition to someone if you don't need to. So why give them the ability to do a killing blow if they don't need to? So
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I do get enjoyment from listening to music. It's just very mild,
hmm.
but I guess so is everything else.
You ever get like a tingly feeling from music, like where like you get goosebumps?
I used to.
Used to. I get it every once in a while. It's like a once a month thing, maybe. Sometimes like like a once a month thing. I'll get goosebumps. But it really depends on the song. If I really like the song, then sometimes I will.
Um,
I'll ask my mom that. You ever get goosebumps while listening to music? Never. Interesting. You just never got that into a song where you're just like that. I feel that. You just get like the little tingles in your arm. No, it's okay.
there is something else I want to talk about. It's this boxing match I saw from the
What?
80s.
Oh, you watched a boxing match?
Yes.
Oh shit, that sounds interesting.
I want. There's this. So, do you know who George Foreman is?
George Foreman, like the grill guy.
Yeah, but do you know, have you heard of any of his? Yeah, that guy, big grill guy, and he was a good champion. He had a good victory over Joe Frazier twice and stuff, and
Okay.
like 20 something years later, he became the oldest champion at 43 years old, and he was very heavy and very slow too.
Hmm.
So I find it entertaining to watch his fights due to how slow he is.
Just like in slow motion, just.
Yeah, really like thumping blows too. A very hard hitter. So he is very tall too. Like and he has a really long reach too.
Oh
A
shit.
good jab reach height. Let's see what his reach and height is. So he has a 79 inch in reach, and he's 6 feet and 4 inches tall.
6 feet 4. Damn.
Yeah, and there was this fight he did where he fought against someone that used to be a middleweight boxer that is like 5'7",
Damn.
and I
Okay.
found it
Yes,
so
maybe that's basically
entertaining
how tall I
because
am.
yeah, like your height going up, someone on your height going up against George Foreman and this shorter guy. He crouched down a lot, so George Foreman couldn't even jab him. So he just
Wow.
resorted to pushing him instead, like with his arms, just pushing him away. And I found it amusing that he slow George Foreman struggle, and George Foreman had a good chin, so this short guy landed a lot of overhand rights. I constantly never seemed to hurt George Foreman at all.
Shit. So he's just getting
And
punched over and over by this short guy, and he's just like
yeah,
doing nothing, like a boss sit there. It's funny.
I found it. I found it. I found it entertaining. I guess that maybe I could screen share the fight.
Yeah, if you want to, go for it.
Okay.
Probably only gonna stream for another like 10 minutes about, but we can watch the fight and then afterwards talk about the fight a little bit, and then I'll probably end the stream.
Dwight Muhammad Khalid. There it is. Maybe we should just see a highlight of it.
Yeah. Yo, how's it going, Kane? We're only watching a few more minutes of the live stream, then I'm gonna close it out. But how's it going? We're watching a boxing match between a short dude and Jordan. Look at how tiny he is.
There is actually pushing him with both his hands. It works due to his massive reach.
He just kind of like shoves him a little
He's
bit.
very
Yeah.
like very calm about getting punched too. Like sometimes he turns his head slightly.
That's fucking wild. Like, dude, how do you even
And
fight some guy that size?
and for someone that is that short to actually put up a fight against this beast of a man that is George Foreman is impressive.
Round two. Okay. Yeah, he just shoves him, bruh.
And
How much do those?
what is it? Like you can't hit him with a jab because he only exposes his forehead and an upper head, like the part of the head that is hard. And how can he hit his body? If you were George Foreman, how are you going to hit his body effectively with his arms? He has his arms at his stomach.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, he can't reach up to hit his head, and he's like very easily at least. Yeah, that's a fucked fight. I mean, he's doing good for his size, but yeah, it's a fucked fight.
But this is no tomato can. This short guy put up a good fight uh, against Evander Holyfield. They offered him $50,000 for this. He took it on like 2 weeks' notice.
Oh shit, nice. Yeah, for 50K, I'd do it too. I don't care how hurt I get.
That's to the kidneys.
Oh shit. Oh. Yeah, round 3 is going hard.
No matter what he hits him with a short guy, it doesn't seem to do any damage or noticeable damage on Foreman.
Yeah, Foreman's just fucking taking it. That's the grilled guy, right?
Yeah, it's the grill guy.
Oh, like shit. Dude. Grill dude don't give a shit. Round 5. Holy damn. They're going. Surprised he doesn't give up. I mean, I mean, I don't know, like, can you give up or can you, like, tap out?
Yeah. Or if one like turns one's back or exits the ring or something. And George Foreman is someone. He, he he is also taking some punches from George Foreman too. They're strong. I think this round they just resorted to pushing each other. I think.
Yeah, they're kind of just missing a lot and shoving.
Oh yeah, I think it. No, I think it's the sixth or the seventh. And George Foreman isn't used to fighting someone that short either, so it's very tricky for him.
I'm guessing George Foreman ends up winning.
Yes. Yeah, Muhammad Ali takes a body shot and then he gives up. There he fakes George Foreman,
Yeah.
pretends to be really hurt, and bounces back. That's risky. I've seen some fighters do that, and then the ref thinks they are actually hurt and calls off the fight.
He's hugging it out for a moment. Damn.
Yeah, I hope they show George Foreman's back fists too. Yeah, maybe in this round is where he pushes her and does back fists. Seems like George Foreman got really frustrated. What did you think of the fight?
It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Uh,
Bruh. I mean, I kind of could tell from like the like after round 2 or 1 that George Foreman was gonna win, just from like how it was going right at the beginning.
yeah, like he can take a seemingly endless amount of his punches.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like if
George wasn't landing very many punches, but when he did, it was like, damn. And then the other short dude, Muhammad, was landing a bunch of punches, and it just seemed to do nothing. So I was like, shit, okay. It's a pretty one-sided match, yeah. Huh.
yeah, and yeah, I thought his usual cross arm defense didn't work. The commentator I watched the whole fight, and the commentators were saying that other short guy could hit him at will anytime he wanted, which was true. And yeah, he took way more punches. He took a lot of punches since it was only a very short highlight. One can't really see how many punches he took, but it must have been a lot.
Yeah, that's fucking wild, man. I wish I could take as many punches as George Foreman. Metaphorical ones, even more. Goddamn. Uh, that was awesome, though. I'm glad you stopped on the podcast for a little bit, Seb.
Yeah, it was fun to be on.
Awesome. Yeah, you take care. Have a good one. I'm probably gonna stream later tonight at some point. If you're on, feel free to stop in if you see the
Yeah,
notification. Otherwise, I'll be around every day. I try to stream.
take care. Bye bye.
Take care, my dude. Ciao.